Hello everybody and welcome to Unity Dev HD. So today in this channel we'll be uploading our first video about Unity Engine. Let me introduce myself to you firstly. My name is Reza. I am going to upload some videos to this channel. So without doing anything further, let's get started. So these days, when you want to create your own game, when you search on internet about 3D engines and the engines that you would like to use, you most of the time see Unity. Unity is a really powerful engine that you can actually use to create games for every single platform and every single style, like 2D games, 3D games, VR games, some um, other kind of stuff that you can actually make with Unity. So how are we going to get Unity to work for us? So firstly, you should go to the link that I will put in the description for you that you can actually download Unity. These days, if you want to download Unity, you should have Unity Hub. You cannot download Unity straight from its website. I think it's got a download assistant for you, but the most efficient thing that you can actually use currently is Unity Hub. So after going to the link I gave you in downloading Unity Hub, you can see Unity Hub popping up in this kind of page. Unity Hub just gets everything collected for you. Everything such as your projects, the sources that you can learn from, your versions installed, your account, and settings that you've got. So after having this page popped up, you can just see your projects, and if you want to create a project, you can click on new. And when you have got a project that is not actually in this section and it is not showed for you, you can actually click on add and then get your projects folder added to the main projects page that you've got in this place so that you can see your project and easily access the project. So let's go and click on new for creating a new project. So for creating a new project, as I told you, we've got different things in this position. We've got a 2D thing, 3D, 3D with extras, high definition RP or render pipeline, that stands for RP actually. We've got lightweight RP and VR lightweight. It's because we are just beginners at current time, we're not going to focus on any of this, but we're going to focus on 3D. Of course, you can go for high definition RP, but for now, let's stick to 3D. So the first thing you need to do is to name your project. So let's name the project. For example, YouTube tutorial, and select the location for your project. If you select the location from first in Unity Hub, all of your projects will be saved to a specific location that you have selected. Also, you can change them here by clicking on this little icon or pasting the path in this position. So let's click on create and wait for Unity to set the engine up for us. So this might take a little bit of time, and so let's skip it till the position that we get Unity ready. So as you can see in this position, Unity is now here for us. So the main thing that you will actually see in Unity is this empty scene that we have got. This is the main scene that you are going to build your game in. So let's firstly pay attention to these kind of tabs that we've got in this position. Firstly, it is the scene that we create the things and place the objects and do many other things. This is the game that we understand how the game actually looks like when we're in the real game. We've got the asset store, and that is this completely clear asset store is Unity's store for assets that you can actually download some different assets straight from Unity and then import them to your project. We've got many assets and you can actually go to different categories to see what you actually need and then get them imported to your project. This tab is Animator tab that I don't think that you will have it when you're just in Unity for the first time. But this is the Animator tab that we go for different animations that I'm not going to talk about this tab today, but we will actually do it in further videos. So, we talked about tabs. So the first thing that you will need to know when you want to add different tabs to your display engine, as an example, you will have to come to Window, and then here you've got different things. As an example, when I don't have Animator tab, I come into the animation section and click on Animator, and it will pop this page up for me. Also, if you want to close a tab, you should right click on it and get it on Close tab. So let's just test this out. Close tab, you get a window, animation, animator, and it is added. You can also just put any tab in every single place that you would like to. It's completely adjustable. So in this place, we've got the project tab. Project tab contains everything that you've got in your project, such as the files that you've got. In here, we've got only a scenes file, a folder, that we've got a scene inside it. So you can see sample scene.unity. We've got the console tab. Console tab is most of the times for the guys who are testing something out for the first time and also are debugging their games so that they understand what their actual problems are. For example, if I've got a problem with my codes, I just get the alerts in console. We've got the animation tab. Animation tab is the actual tab that you use to record your animations. When you record an animation, you can just play and test the things around. You can go to different frames in your animation and so on. And for the other tab, these tabs that I'm actually telling you are the essential ones, is the audio mixer. All of the sounds in a game should come to one mixer to get controlled easily. As an example, if you are going to create a settings for your game that uses audio mixer, you can give the chance to the player to just control the audio inside of the game using, I don't know, everything that you would like. And when you just, for example, give the player the ability to increase the sound or decrease the sound, you will have to put every single audio source inside your game and give them the reference to this audio mixer, and then you can actually get everything mixed around and you can do everything you would like with your audios. So on the right side, we've got the inspector panel. Inspector panel is actually a panel that gives us the complete features of an object and lets us get it configured in our game and do many things. And we can say that we do a lot of things in Inspector panel. So as an example, if I select the main camera, that is the camera that shows the scene to us, I can see in the Inspector panel that all of its features pops up. As an example, we've got a transform thing popping up in this position. So I know where the position of my camera is my actually object rotated, or if I want to rotate it, I can rotate it on different axes. I can scale it up, but that some objects cannot get scaled. As an example, like the camera, you cannot scale the camera up and down. It is the same in every single scale. And these things are called components. Transform is a component, camera is a component, audio listener is a component, and so on. And when you want to add a component to your game object, you can simply click on this Add Component button. You can just go and create a script for your thing, or you can also scroll down a little bit to see what you've got in this position. So, for example, this camera thing that we had here, it was a component, it was added from the Add Component section, and you can see the camera thing popping up in this position. Also, we're not going to talk about these things right now. These are the features of camera components that we will just focus on other tutorials. So, what do we got in this position? These things are the things and the tools that we use to do different things with our objects. Firstly, we use this to go around our scene, just using this tool right here called Hand Tool. And if you hover over one of these, you can see what they're actually named. The second thing we've got a Move tool. If we've got an object in our scene, we can move it with this Move tool. So as you can see, I'm moving my object on different axes. We've got the Rotate tool. Rotate tool just gives you the ability to rotate an object in a scene. We've got the Scale tool. Scale tool actually changes the scale thing over here. Also, all of these change the features of the transform components. So as an example, when I rotate this, if you just pay attention, you can see that when I'm moving this on the Z axis, this is actually changing the Z axis and the transform components. As an example, in scale thing, I told you that camera does not actually change a lot on the scale, so it doesn't change at all. So we cannot see a lot of things, but we will actually go through some other steps that we will actually show how these things are actually used for. We've got a Rect tool that we will actually talk about in some other parts, and a Move Rotator Scale Selected Objects that gives you complete control over moving an object, rotating an object, and so on. So, let's add a game object to our scene. When we want to add a game object to our scene, it can just get added in two ways. It can be a game object that gets added from here, and we right click and go for 3D object or 2D object or any of these things that we've got, video, UI, audio, light, effects, and so on. So as an example, when we come here, we've got 3D and cube. We've got our cube in this position. It can also be a prefab in the projects panel, so that you can actually have a prefab already. For example, I've got a 3D model made in an just external application like Blender, and I have exported it to Unity, and I want to use it inside my game. So I drag and drop kind of a thing that we've got over here that we will talk a little bit about, and drag it into the scene or drag it into the hierarchy to get another thing. Also, the hierarchy tab just shows every single thing that we've got inside our scene. So, a cube, an object that we've got in its current position. So let me just go over the inspector panel. We want to reset something's transfer, reset its position, rotation, and scale. We'll right click on this transform component. As you can see, I right click on it and reset its transform. We've got other things over here like copy component, find references in scene, and reset position, and we will reset rotation or reset its scale if you do not want it to get reset completely. So, what is find references in C. If a component is actually used by different objects inside a scene, by right-clicking on this thing and clicking on Find References in Scene, in this case it is only our cube because we've applied this transform component to our cube, so there are no other things that you can actually do and actually see other components to transform because this transform is applied to this cube. So the other thing is the copy component thing. When you copy a component, you can go to an object that doesn't actually have a transform and just paste the component over there. Or if the, for example, thing has a transform, you can actually apply the values to that component. So as an example, I've got my cube resident 0, 0, 0 position and 0 rotation and the main scale that it had. And when I right click on this thing and I paste component values, I get the component values of the previous transform that I had copied, and it gets applied to this transform over here. So let's work with our different tools over here. Just an easy way to switch around with these tools is that you use Q to go for the hand tool, W for move tool, E for rotate tool, we've got R for scale tool, we've got we'll love this in order, like for correct tool we go for T, for this rotation scale, and move thing we've got Y and things like that. These are all in order and you do not have to remember them. If you just forget them, you can go and click on one of these and then go in a row so you can actually understand that, okay, you've got that thing over there. So by selecting our move tool and moving our cube around, using our rotate tool, as I said, we rotate our objects on different axes. By using this scale tool over here, you scale an object on different axes. So as you can see, I'm scaling my cube up and down on different axes. On the rect tool that we've got over here, we can adjust the size of our object in this position. We mostly use rect tool in UI and 2D modes, but you can actually use them in 3D modes if you would like to. So as an example, I would like to increase the size of my cube on the y-axis, or actually scale it up. I use this thing over here. So on the y-axis, I get it up or down. I get the cube just scaled up and down, change position and things like that in this rect tool. And I find it sometimes useful, but not always. And the last tool that we had, there was the complete thing over here for moving, rotating, and things like that. So we've got these buttons over here. This is a play button that we've got. And this play button just shows our scene. So as you can see, our cube is over here. And if I duck my game panel to the right side of the project so that I can just move my cube, you can see that when I just get in here to the camera, I can see the differences in the game panel. And for example, if I move the main camera up and down, you can see the differences in the game scene. So you might just ask, what is this thing? The directional light. Directional light, it is completely clear that we've got a light in our scene, and it is called directional light that gives a light to our scene, and sometimes we can say it acts like the sun. We've got different types of lights like spotlight, directional light, point light, and area. that we will talk about later on. So, this directional light, how does it work? So, as an example, let's think that I am rotating my directional light on the x-axis. Can you tell the differences in the game scene or even in the scene panel? So as you can see, when I get it directionally to the point that we've got our objects, it's like, it's a day. But when I move it up a little bit, you can see it becomes dark. That means we've got no light. And it feels like it is, a night thing popping up. It's kind of like a simulation. When I move it down a little bit, it feels like it's about to get dark. And a lot of things that we've got. So for the mode things and things like that, we will talk later because these are components, and I'm just gonna do this tutorial for the beginners, not for the ones that have actually been in Unity for a while. So you might ask whether changing the position of the directional light does affect the scene, or does make any differences in the scene. I should say not really. It doesn't actually make a lot of differences, or we can say it does not affect the scene at all, but the main thing is with the rotation. So I think for now you can just play around with Unity, and for this tutorial we just concentrated on the Unity 3D engine itself. Actually, we will concentrate on some other things in the next tutorials for sure, because this series is for absolute beginners that do not know anything about Unity, so this is the place that you can actually learn different things. For now, I just told you the basics of Unity. You can actually come here and just play around with different objects like 2D objects, 3D objects, some spawning different objects, move them into the directional lights, and testing things out for yourself. And yeah, so that's it for this video. If you liked the video and you actually liked me, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and leaving your comments down. If you would like more advanced things, I am ready to do everything for you guys, so that we get to the point that you guys learn many things and we actually get this YouTube channel come to a big point and come to a climax on YouTube. So without anything that we can mention, so yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, and peace.